Hi there, and welcome to my 2025 year ahead video. So I've made this video to explain to you what I feel are some of the themes and things coming up for us in 2025, and just to give us you a bit of a heads up of what to be aware of and what could be coming up for you and for the collective. So for a long, long time, Spirit have been telling us and made it very clear through astrology, through lots of different spiritual mediums and systems, that the 2020s were going to be the most difficult decades of this century, because of all the change that is going on here. And so, as we know already, we're nearly halfway through that decade, and it's been, tumultuous to say the least. There's been so many ups and downs. We've experienced a world that we've never experienced before. Things have happened and gone on around us that we've never, ever had to deal with, most of us in our lifetimes before. So it's been a real eye-opener and an awakener for humanity. So now we're nearly halfway through that whole 2020s decade. And, when we look at the numerology of things, number one is the beginning, where you start from. Number two is when you bring in something else to partner up with or to help you achieve your goal, go where you want to do, whatever you want to bring in. Number three is where you bring in the spiritual energy, the past energy, the present energy, the future energy, to make it all, to merge all of the different parts of you, your intuition, your goals, your intellect, all of those together along on the way across your plan. And then number four is when you tend to put that what you've created so far becomes a foundation, becomes a basis to work from, and you start to put that into action. And then we get to number five, and number five is all about change. So 2025 is going to be all about change. And the change it's like you started to make a plan, or the world started to make a plan around about 2020. Well, further back maybe, but we're just looking at the 2020s at this stage. And so from 1 to 4, from 2021 to 2024, we worked on that plan. And then we get to 2025 and we get to see, hang on, what's wrong with this plan? What do we need to change here so that the original plan that we started with can still work, but it needs to be tweaked. It needs to be reorganized. It needs to be reshuffled in some way so that the next 5 years, 2026 to 2029, will be the fruition of what we began, but being able to change and evolve through that as well. So as we hit 2025, it's all going to be about change, about our own personal sovereignty, and about our own personal realities. So it's going to be a tricky ride. I mean, 2024 wasn't an easy year for anybody, and my heart goes out to everybody and everything that they've suffered through during this year. But please always remember, and it's something that helps me get through my tough times too, is that you chose to be here at this time, and you did not choose to come here to be miserable. You chose to come here at this time to play a role in what's going on in the world, and it's a very important role. I mean, a lot of us who are back here at this time are back here from the times of Atlantis and Lemuria. So we've got this very strong, strong need to make sure the world does not fall again, that we don't disappear off into the world of technology, forgetting about the God energy or the spiritual energy, forgetting about the earth and the resources we have here, and forgetting about our own sovereignty and our own ability to manifest, to co-create with the universe, and to lead our lives in a way that works best for us. So we've got some big changes astrologically coming about in 2025. So I'd like to go through with these with you now. So the first one that we're going to have on the 30th of January 2025 is the movement of the North Node out of Aries and into Pisces. So the nodes are the only things in the chart that move in a clockwise direction. Everything else moves anti-clockwise. And so that's why we're moving from Aries back, what we would think is back into Pisces, but actually that's the clockwise way of it. So while the North Node's been in Aries, which we've still got until the end of January next year, 2025, it's been very much about new opportunities, new beginnings, new things moving forward, and the ability to take who we are, and really work on our self-belief. And that's again a big theme for 2025. And so the North Node has sort of preempted this for us. It's given us a sort of a quick look into what that feels like, what that can be like before all the other major planets later this next year also move into Aries energy. And by that time, the North Node will be out of it. So the North Node's sort of been like on a reconnaissance mission for us, to give us a taste of what it could be like, to think for yourself, to stand on your own 2 feet, and to be the leader that you know that you've been before and that you're capable of being again. So once the North Node moves into Pisces on the 30th of January, we'll have around 18 months of the South Node in Virgo and the North Node in Pisces. So that polarity between those two. So the North Node is our destiny. It's what we're going to. It's our potential of what we can enact, what we can achieve, what we can work towards. And the South Node, which is directly opposite it, is what we've come from. It's the tail of the dragon. It's what we've already learnt. But the tail of the dragon and that South Node is so familiar to us that as soon as we come into it gets activated, we just want to behave and do things the way that we've always done them, or that we've done them before when we've used that energy before. So the polar opposite signs of the zodiac always share something in common. And so that what they share in this polarity is the energy of serving. Virgos love to serve or believe in serving because they want to be the wind beneath other people's wings. They want to be the ones in the background, crossing all the T's, dotting the I's, managing things, holding things in place, getting all the ducks in a row. That's that Virgo energy. And Pisces energy believes in serving because it just wants to be easygoing. It wants everybody to be happy. It wants everything to just get along nicely. And it also wants everybody to look at things from that higher perspective. And when we're looking at things from a higher perspective, we're not looking at all the petty emotional, silly stuff. We're looking at it much above all of that. So this is the energy that we're going to be working with over the next 18 months, is this energy of serving. And so what we've got to do with this energy is actually look at where do you want to serve? And to instead of, and I'm sort of a real believer that we need to, especially now that we've had Saturn in Pisces for the last 2.5 years, and he's about to move out, which I'll talk about soon. Because of this Pisces energy, a real epiphany that came to me recently through Spirit was that, this energy of serving is something that Pisces and Virgo does. And so when we've got big planets sitting in that energy, we all feel this need to serve in some way. But while we're serving and when we're in that mindset, it's almost like we're beholden to other people, or we owe things to people, or we're beneath other people. So if we turn that, change that serving energy into sharing instead, it makes us all equal, all on the same line. We're sharing information, we're sharing what we're good at, we're sharing our abilities with other people. We're not serving them because we do this better than what they do, or because they pay us to do that for them. We're sharing our knowledge because we want to, and because we're on an equal footing with other people. So this next 18 months after January 2025 is really going to help us to be very aware of that, of sharing who we are and what we do, sharing our wisdom, sharing our intuition, sharing our gifts and our abilities with other people, rather than feeling that we only do that if someone pays us or if they instruct us to do so. So what we're also going to start to see is become a lot more aware of our unconscious beliefs that stop us from growing and achieving and evolving. And we all have them. And again, a lot of those might come down to the fact that you might feel that you're not good enough to take the lead. You're better off in a serving situation or a serving position. You're better off behind the scenes than you are in the front row. And that may be the case, that it might be that type of person, but everybody needs to step up sometime in their lives or somewhere in their lives. And so this is like an invitation for you to see, where can I be bigger? Where can I be brighter? Where can I be stronger? And where can I kind of stand on my own 2 feet and not have any fear that I'm overstepping myself or don't know what I'm doing or anything along those lines. And of course, Pisces energy with the North Node in Pisces, that's our destiny. That's what we're moving towards. And Pisces energy is a highly intuitive energy. So the other thing that this transit of the North Node through Pisces is going to teach us all is the importance of relying on our intuition, the importance of looking at things from a higher perspective and not getting caught up in all the nitty-gritty, petty, ridiculous things that go on, but actually evolving out of that so you can see the highest good in everything that you're doing, but also the highest good and what you can achieve moving forward is your potential and what you have to offer. So it's going to be a great time for people to really look at who they are and not be afraid to rely on those inner parts of yourself, that your guiding light, your navigation tool, which is your soul and your intuition. So that's the first one in January. So the next big shift is going to be the shift of Neptune out of Aries out of Pisces and into Aries. So we've had Neptune sitting in Pisces for the last 15 years. Neptune is, again, a very slow-moving planet. And so he's what we call a generational planet. So everybody who's born within the last 15 years has been born with Neptune and Pisces, and therefore they're born intuitive people. So we've just created a whole 15-year generation of people who are very intuitive. And that's, again, something that's designed to help move us forward. I mean, they're only from 0 to 15 at the moment, so they're not being able to achieve a lot or do a lot with that intuition outside of themselves at the moment. But hopefully, a lot of them are being guided and encouraged and helped to develop this further. So while Neptune's been in Pisces, it's been the absolute age of illusion, and that's the best way that I can think of to describe it, where we've really seen some ridiculous things going on and all sorts of illusions, like the power of Hollywood, the power of celebrities and pop stars to decide what's best for us. And, it's really interesting coming up to I mean, I do follow a little bit of politics, not too much, but coming up to the American elections, how important it was to everybody in America what celebrity was backing what presidential candidate. I mean, to me, surely those sort of things come down to what you feel is right, and not if my favorite pop star decides that I should vote for Donald Trump, then absolutely I have to vote for Donald Trump. So we've been under this illusion that people have more power over us if they've got more money, or if they've got more status, or if they've got a big name, or if they're famous. That's one of the biggest illusions. The other illusions have been, of course, that our governments will take good care of us and always look after our needs. Well, that's been pretty disproved. And so it's been a real time of illusion, and illusions about ourselves as well, of where we've taught ourselves or created beliefs within ourselves that we can't do certain things, or that we're just like this or we're just like that. And all of that, when Neptune moves out of Pisces and into Aries at the end of March next year, is going to be shattered in a big way, because Piscean energy is all illusional. It's a water sign, so it's easy to hide things under the water. It's easy to go with the flow. It's easy just to be in that watery energy that doesn't really make a decision. It just goes with what's going on. Very easy sort of way to be, but it's not. It doesn't allow us to be assertive, and it doesn't allow us to stand up. So once Arian energy, so once we step into Aries, which is a very black and white energy, it's a fire sign. It's all about leadership. It's all about power, and it's all about self-belief. And so once we step into that Arian energy, there's going to be massive revelations globally, collectively, and personally, where we're really going to start to see the truth about ourselves, or the truth about what's really going on, the truth about the world and everything in it. And this has to come out so that we can create a new world moving forward. Remember, we're in the age of Aquarius, and it's all about change and all about evolving out of our old way of being to create a new earth. And that is so important, because as we know, when we look around the world at the moment, it's a very broken, chaotic place. And out of that chaos has to come structure, has to come something strong and positive. And that's where this Arian energy comes in, is the energy of leadership, the energy of individuality. And that individuality isn't about everybody goes in their own way and has nothing to do with each other. It's more about everybody realizes what they're good at and what they bring to the table that they can share with everybody else on an equal platform. That's the Aquarian energy of humanity and community. And this is what we're kind of working towards. But to get there, to be able to create that new world and that new earth, we've all got to believe in ourselves. We've all got to know what we bring to the table, what we're good at, and where we can step up as individuals to either take the lead, stand on our own 2 feet, or do our own thing in some way. And the basis behind all of this, the shadow side of Arian energy, is the belief that you're not good enough. And that's what we're going to get sort of prompted and poked at a lot over these next, particularly when Saturn's in there as well, over the next 3 years, but of course for that entire 15-year transit of Neptune through Aries. So as this transit goes on, we're going to start to see all sorts of things. And one of the things that we're going to really be asked to do is to step into our personal empowerment. And personal empowerment doesn't mean that you get to be in charge and tell everybody else what to do, or it might in some situations, but mainly what it means is that you realize that you're in charge of you, and you become your own boss, you become your own best friend, you become your own reliable source of everything. And you don't look outside of yourself for those things anymore. I mean, obviously outside of us, there's all sorts of information, misinformation and good information. And we need to be able to sort of go through all of that and discern it through the lens of what works for you, what makes sense to you. So what makes sense to me may not make any sense to you whatsoever. And that's the beauty of it, is that that's okay. I understand it, you don't, but you've got something you probably understand that I don't, and that's all right. We don't need to actually have that division that's created by people looking at things differently and judging each other for it. Rather, we have a coming together which is full of variety, it's full of opportunity, it's full of different things and different people that allow us all to come together, bringing our gifts to the table so we can all share them and all work together as one. So so as we step into Neptune in Aries, there are a few things we're going to have to be a bit careful of, because Arian energy is very headstrong, and it's very it has a lot of belief in itself, so it's sort of as a fire sign, it's kind of my way or the highway is often the way Arian energy operates. And of course, if we all are thinking that way, that my way is the only way and I'm in charge and I get to tell you all what to do, nothing's going to happen. We're going to have more chaos than what we've already got. But if we can look at it more as I know this, and so this is what I have to offer and share with you all, and um, I can take responsibility in this little part, and I can stand up for myself on this little part. That's all you need to do. You don't need to take on the world. You don't need to be in charge of everything and everyone. You just need to be sure within yourself. And so this is what we're slowly going to work through with Neptune and Aries. And because it's such a slow-moving planet, we're not going to learn this overnight. We're going to go through stages of learning it. And so with 15 years, let's break it down into 3 5-year blocks. The first 5 years, we're lost in the illusion. So the Arian energy will be pulling us in different directions, making us unsure of perhaps when to stick up for ourselves and when not to, when to take the lead and when not to. So we're going to be in that illusion of, is it my turn, or do I step back? Do I stand up? All of that, the confusion and the illusion will be the first sort of 5 years of it as we start to learn to rely on ourselves once again. So the middle 5 years is where we start to see the chinks and the breaks, and we start to think, hang on, this illusion that this belief that I've had about myself, it's not true. It's not working for me. I need to change it. I need to start to see what I can do differently and what I can contribute to the world differently as well. And then the final 5 years of the transit will be when we move out of that illusion of that lack of belief in ourselves, or that fear that's been holding us back for feeling like we're not good enough, and we step into our power. We start to really see what we each as individuals bring to the table, where we each can step up and stand up, and where we each can be leaders without taking over, without ruling everybody and being the king of the world, but simply within our communities, within our families, within our groups, we start to see what we have to offer. And we come back to our self-reliance, ourself and our own reality and our own sovereignty over and above everything else. So what we've got to be careful not to do with this Arian energy is to isolate ourselves, is to feel, well, this is the way I look at life and everyone around me doesn't, so I obviously need to go off here and be on my own and not have anything to do with anybody else because they just don't get me. Well, that's not going to solve anything or help anything. So you've got to, again, see, okay, I might be different to you and see things differently and have different priorities, different expectations, whatever they might be, but that's okay. I'll just carry on doing me and you carry on doing you, and we'll find that equal ground. We'll find that common unity that brings us all back together again. So don't place yourself apart from other people if you're finding that you're not getting along with others or things aren't working for you. Look for new people, or look for a different group, or change your perspective so that you can be more open-minded. Because one of the big challenges with Arian energy is that it can be very closed-minded in the sense of it's open to new ideas and new things happening and all of that sort of thing. But once it's decided what it wants to do or what makes sense to it, it doesn't like to then have to take on other people's opinions or listen to other people. But what we know is that when we listen to other people and when we open ourselves to other perspectives and beliefs and thoughts and fantasies even, we get to learn something new about something or someone. And knowledge is power. And so the more then we can add that to what we already know and what we already believe in within ourselves, and really grow it into something much stronger and much more positive. So you really are here over these next 15 years to see what you can contribute to the world as an individual and as a leader. Or you can do both, or you can do one or the other. It'll be up to you. But we've all got something to contribute, and this Neptune and Aries is really going to show us who we are and what we can bring to the table. So it's going to be a real powerful energy to move through. Okay, and so the next one after this, on the 26th of May, 2025, Saturn, our great teacher and disciplinarian, also moves out of Pisces and into Aries and joins Neptune, already sitting there. So that's going to be powerful. Two of the biggest planets and most powerful planets in the cosmos joining forces. And it will be for 3 years, because Saturn will only be in Aries for 3 years, but Neptune, of course, will be there for 15. So Saturn is all about structure. And so when he moves into Aries, it's going to be a lot easier for us to create structure within our own lives, to be more disciplined, to be more focused, and to be more aware of ourselves and what we bring to the table as individuals. So it's a very empowering time for us all as people. But what we're going to learn is a lot of self-reliance, a lot of self-empowerment, and that all has to come from self-belief. And this is what we're really stepping into a lot in 2025, is that ability to believe in yourself, no matter what's going on outside of you. If what's going on outside of you doesn't align with you, doesn't make sense to you, doesn't feel like what you want your life to be or what you want the world to be, then you have the ability to choose a different reality. And that's not to say you're going to go and live in a different place and have a whole different experience to everybody else. Creating your own reality is choosing to believe in what you want to believe in and choosing not to follow or believe what doesn't work for you. So instead of sort of agreeing with things and going along with things because that's what everybody else does, that's going to feel like the wrongest thing in the world to do when Saturn moves into Aries. Because if you don't honor yourself and you don't put yourself first, you're not learning the lessons of Saturn and Aries. And again, we've got to learn to be able to put ourselves first and stand on our own 2 feet without dominating other people, without telling other people, you've got to do it my way and my way is the only way. So it's going to be tricky as we navigate this energy because, of course, Aries energy wants to come first. It wants to be heard. It wants to be out there. It wants to be noticed and recognized as for the leading energy and the confident self energy that it carries, but that doesn't make you right and everybody else wrong. So this is where we've got to learn to be our own person, but also be able to get along with other people too. So it'll be a time for a lot of people will feel very compelled to step up and speak up. And again, we've got to be able to do that knowing that everybody's entitled to their own truth and that just because I'm speaking up and I'm saying what I'm saying now, if you don't align with what I'm saying, if you don't resonate with what I'm offering or what I'm giving here, that's absolutely fine. You're allowed your own reality and your own truth. I'm just offering you mine as a way of looking at things that I feel brings a lot higher perspective to it and allows us all to come together and create the new world that we're supposed to create together. That's why we're here. That's why we've been born at this time. So while Saturn is so Saturn's, it's about structure and Saturn takes everything very seriously. So if he's going to be in Aries, he's going to take you very seriously. He's going to take you very seriously to stand up for yourself, to do all the things that you need to do, and to really be the person that you need to be moving forward. So it's going to be really strong. And the other thing that it's going to reveal for us is a lot of latent talents and abilities that we might have been burying up until now because we couldn't see the use for them up until now. While we've been in this sort of age of illusion, there's been a lot of parts of you that you might have felt, oh, well, that's just me, and I won't put any focus on that or try and develop that. So it's been a difficult time to be able to put yourself first. But we're going to start to see that there's things that we've hidden, things that we've buried, things that we're very capable of that now need to see the light of day. They now need to come out and be used and recognized by everybody. Okay, and so the next one that we're going to, the big shift for next year will be the shift of Jupiter out of Gemini and into Cancer. So Jupiter, that's not going to happen until June next year. So we've still got a good six months or so of Jupiter and Gemini, which is why we're experiencing so much busyness at the moment. I mean, it's a busy time of year anyway, but a lot of people are ending 2024 in a state of complete overwhelm from all the stuff they've had to go through, all the busyness and everything else. So what we're finding with Jupiter and Gemini is he's making things so busy. And again, I feel that all the planets are conspiring together in their movements and their aspects and what they're doing to really encourage us all to understand that you're here to believe in yourself. Over and above anything and anyone else, you've got to believe in you. and I've talked about this in some of the other videos that I've made over the last month or so. So it's a really important thing to come back to, because so Gemini is all about curiosity, about communication, about being busy, about multitasking, all of that sort of energy. And Jupiter is all about growth and expansion. So when you add Jupiter to Gemini, you kind of turbocharge Gemini and make them super busy, super communicative, super multitasker. But what we realize when we overload ourselves with that many opportunities and that many things to do is that we're juggling too many balls. And this is when we have to learn to be discerning, and we have to realize for ourselves, what do I need to focus on and work on right now? And what can I put on the back burner for later? Or what can I do this month and what can I do next month? So we're really learning how to prioritize. And we're also learning that, the only way to do things successfully and well is really to devote yourself to that thing. And as we know, Gemini energy is the energy of the jack of all trades and the master of none. So most Geminis are very capable in lots of areas, but they're not experts in every area. And so when we've got Jupiter and Gemini, again, we're being shown you can't, if you want to be what you want to be and you want to have success in your life, you've got to focus. You can't be all over the place. You can't be doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that, or else nothing that you really care about is going to come to fruition. So Jupiter's kind of messing everything up for us and creating all this chaos and all this busyness so that we can learn to be more discerning, because we can't do everything and you can't be everything to everyone all the time. It's exhausting. So once again, we're coming back to ourselves. Rely on you, believe in you, and most importantly, look after you. So I think a lot of people have come to the end of 2024 not only exhausted but not very well as well. There's always bugs and colds and things going around, and the people that have really sort of overloaded themselves this year are the ones that are kind of going down, getting sick at this time as well, because often they've been carrying too many things, juggling too many balls. And a lot of that juggling and stuff comes down to the over responsibility that you're taking for other people. So when Jupiter moves into Cancer, that's going to be increased, because Cancerian energy is the energy of the mother. It's the energy of nurturing, caring, looking after other people. And Cancerian energy is also the energy of the people pleaser, in the sense that Cancerian energy sees everybody else and everybody else's needs as being way more important than their own. And therefore, they give their energy away. So again, Jupiter's the turbocharger, so he's going to turbocharge that energy of Cancer once we step into that in June. And he will be there from June 2025 until around about July 2026. And so that will really up our compassion and our motivation to look after people, to care about things, and to be needed. And I feel it's going to be a really great sort of balance for all of this Arian energy, which is very me oriented. And I've got to have everything and it's all about me. We're going to move into this energy of, okay, it can be all about you, but how about you use all about you energy to look after lots of people, to look after more than just you. Step up. Stand up with that compassion, with that empathy, with that understanding for others, instead of that ruling fist. Stand up and care about what's going on. So Jupiter in Cancer really allows people to give a lot of love out there, to actually expand and extend on their family, and so that your family becomes not necessarily your blood family, but it becomes everybody in your tribe, everybody that you care about on a deep level. So it's a beautiful energy for us to really expand outwards and see who else we want to include or can include in our world and our tribe and our community, because we love them and because they bring something to us, and because we can work well together. We can hold on to each other and support one another no matter what we're going through. So the negative side, or the challenging aspect to Jupiter and Cancer, is that Cancerian energy loves to hold on to the past. And so, we've got to let go to move forward. And in the age of Aquarius, it's all about letting go of the old ways of being and bringing in new ways. So that Cancerian energy might get in the way a little bit of that, and really want to just hold things in a little cocoon and keep it all nice and safe and cushioned from the rest of the world. But that's not being real. So we've got to be able to be caring and compassionate, but still be authoritative and assertive about what we want to do and what we want to achieve in this life, in this year, sorry. So that's how I'm seeing 2025. I'm really seeing it as an opportunity for everybody to embrace change. I mean, change is the only constant there is in the world. And I'm also seeing that this is also an opportunity for us all to see that no matter what goes on outside of you, you can choose what you want to believe in. You can choose what you want to do if you believe enough in yourself and you have enough self-love and self-belief that you will put that into action. And this isn't about just that thinking that everything has to be a success. It's just about having the ability to believe in yourself, and whether things work out for you or not, that doesn't matter. It's not about the end result. It's all about the journey. And so it's really about knowing that when I believe in myself and when I focus on me, other things can't get in my way. There's no chinks in my armor. Negativity, manipulation, other people's thoughts, beliefs, actions, abuse will not get to me because I believe in me. And that's all that matters. So move forward into 2025, focusing on yourself, and not in a selfish way, but in a way of what do I have? Who am I? And what can I bring to the table? What is there about me that I can share with others that's going to make their lives better and my life better? And most importantly, what reality do I want to focus on? So if you see things going on in the world and you don't agree with them, if you put your energy into those things and argue about them or do something about them, you're adding to that energy. Even if your thoughts are the opposite to what's going on, because you're focusing in that direction, you're adding to that energy. You're adding more fuel to that fire. So if you take your energy or your attention off what you don't like and instead use your attention, use your energy, use your imagination, use your creativity to focus on what you do want your reality to look like, then that's what you'll manifest, no matter what's going on around you. So it's all about, being safe within you because you believe in you, because you're your own best friend. So work on that over 2025, and I do hope it'll be a good year for you, no matter how much chaos and disruption there will be out there. And remember, I'm always here if you need some advice or some guidance. So have a very Merry Christmas, everybody. If you have a very Merry Christmas and a very, very happy 2025. Thank you and goodbye.